This is Financial Straight Talk with Jim Fox.
Back with you on this week's edition of Financial Straight Talk, all powered by Wadadley Financial Group, with the founder, president, and investment advisor representative Jim Fox. Kevin McAlpin here with you. Appreciate you joining us each and every week on the show. And if anything that Jim and I cover over the course of today's program is of interest to you, pick up the phone. Give him and his team at Wadadley Financial Group a call today. That number is 321-414-7526, 321-414-PLAN. Online anytime, it's getfst.com. Well, Jim, Super Bowl has now come and gone, and I got to be honest with you. You know I'm a Philadelphia native, but even watching that game the other night, I was like, this is one of the most boring football games I've watched. That thing was over at the end of the first quarter, it felt like, wasn't it?
Yeah, it did. I mean, even commercials couldn't save the thing. So, yeah.
There was not a lot.
Definitely not the halftime show, but that's a whole nother story.
We could do a whole show on that, I think.
and I like Kendrick, so I mean, I'll leave it at that. But still, it was like, what?
Yeah.
So
I was telling my kids, I said, back in the day, the Rolling Stones, The Who, Paul McCartney, Michael Jackson, those were the halftime shows. It's changed over the years a little bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like at least you'd have the sensational stuff, the wardrobe malfunctions and all the other. Like this is just like what? I mean, but. I don't want to be that guy going, this is the worst thing ever. They're horrible, these kids nowadays. I don't want to do that, but I'm like, for real? So I get it, I guess.
Not a great game. The commercials were boring. The commercials are boring if my wife is talking to all her friends during the commercials. I'm like, babe, no? Okay. Not interested in that either. But look, now that the football season is come and gone, Jim, we do know the Eagles are still flying high after their second Super Bowl title. Every year, though, Jim, one team ends the season on the high note. 31 others, well, it's back to square one, back to the drawing board to figure out how to get better for the following season. Some teams might have to make just a couple of tweaks here and there. For other teams, it could be a complete rebuilding situation. Now, I think you can tie that into retirement planning because the same could be said about your clients, our listeners, when it comes to evaluating their plan. And so when it comes to a second opinion, when it comes to looking at what folks already have on paper, what are some of the things you really typically try to uncover on a second opinion visit?
I mean, first, I think it's important, and I do this with pretty much everybody, especially when they make the decision that they kind of want to start moving in the direction of working with us. I just want to just come out and let them know that I understand this isn't a simple decision. You could very well be working with people for decades and then decide to kind of pivot and work with somebody else. It's not an easy decision. It is a breakup in a lot of ways, right? Mm-hmm. And so I always want to acknowledge that and just let them know that I know how difficult this must be for you to make these changes. So we always start with that because I think it's super important. But the reality is the numbers are the numbers, right? I mean, and that's what matters because, listen, unless somebody's stroking a check to pay for your retirement, it's up to you to make the right decisions with your money, right? Mm-hmm. And the way that I kind of get away from the emotional side of it is really hyper-focus on the numbers, the math, the probability. What do the analytics tell us, right? And if you stay, now obviously emotion becomes an issue, but if you stay focused on the numbers, then it's kind of hard to argue that. I could give you so many cases that we've worked on, but I always tell people what I believe is that most people have a plan, and that plan has, for the most part, remained the same since they were in their 40s or maybe early 50s, right? There is like a kind of an accumulation phase to it, but it never really takes on that income transformation, right? It's like, okay, well, yeah, I've got some really great stocks that have appreciated really well, but typically I love those stocks and I don't want to sell them. So how do I make them into an income stream, right? That becomes like the big challenge. So I always tell people that we want to have a purpose-built plan. What is our plan built for? Yes, if you have some stocks that you love, I tell them hold them as long as it's not detrimental to your income stream, right? Mm-hmm. But you've got to have a purpose-built plan. And that's super important. And what I truly believe is that most of these financial plans or lack thereof financial plans that exist that I see are a failure to communicate and understand what our goals are. Maybe that is the client not clearly communicating with the professional on the other side of the desk, okay? Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's the person on the other side of the desk applying their own personal beliefs to somebody else's finances and saying, no, we're going to do this instead, okay? I need you to understand, it is your dollar. It is your $100 and it is your $1 million. I do not live in any fantasy world that it is any of my money. I will tell you that if it were my money, this is what I think I would be leaning into and why. But ultimately, my job is to sit down with you and provide a plan that makes sense, that meets your needs, and identify when your plan isn't going to meet those needs, i.e. run out of money, right? That's really what I'm focused on.
Right.
So I'll just give you a kind of an easy case. A person came to one of our workshops. They had a really great net worth, Kevin. $4 million. That's a ton of money. I mean, they did a great job saving. They did a really good job working on building that wealth. And they had a relationship with somebody for, I don't know, 15, 20 years, a long time. Okay. A long time. And what we did is we sat down, we did our Morningstar report, which is something we do on everybody. We did our Riskalyze report, which is with the company called Nitrogen, and it kind of rates your risk. And we did our tax map, and we did all the analytics that we do. And here's what came back. Their risk was a 68. So that's where they wanted to be, right? 68. Yet their portfolio was only a 14. Now, this is odd because normally it's the other way around, by the way.
Okay.
So they wanted more risk, but they got way less risk than they wanted. So that sounds like a good thing until you look and you see that their average return over the past 15 years is less than 2%. And then you got to think they're paying the advisory firm as well, right? So these are the things that we start pointing out through our analytics is, look, this is what's happening. Here's the historics behind it. This is your bond heavy portfolio. Here's some of the issues. These are the things that we see based on what you're telling us you want to accomplish. Yet we're confused why this isn't happening over here. Did you have the same goals and desires on the other side with the other people that you're telling us right now? Because if you did, it doesn't match. And then we work our way through it. And slowly but surely, we answer their questions. We show them what their current portfolio does, and then we show them an alternative to do what they want to do. And this isn't about driven on performance, okay? This is not saying, oh, that portfolio stunk, even though it kind of did, to be completely honest with you, right? But the point that we're trying to make is whatever your portfolio is designed to do, it should meet whatever your goals are. And time again, I see a misalignment of your goals and your investment strategies. That is the problem. And we could sit here, and I feel like I am full on finance weenie mode right now with all of this stuff, to be honest with you. So let me make it a little bit simpler, because I hate all these words that I'm using. The reality is, guys, is that we want to have maybe a Ferrari and get on that track and rip around the track. But the problem is we end up buying a go-kart. We'll still get around the track, but is it what we wanted? The answer is no. I need to move a shovel full of dirt from my house to the dump. Do I buy a dump truck or do I buy a pickup truck? See, it's about having the right tools for the right job. And that is what I see happening time and time again with people. And some of you right now are going, no, man, my guy's really good. And maybe he is, or maybe he isn't. But all I can tell you is this. I don't apply emotion or personality to the analytics. We plug in your numbers based on what you want to accomplish, and it spits out a report. This report will say you are on track for what you're doing or you're not on track. That is the beauty behind what we do, because this is about you and your money. Keep in mind, my mother busted her butt working at Wusthof Hospital right down the road here in Rockledge. Her employee number is 227. She worked there for 34 years in the kitchen. She busted her butt. My dad worked 37 years for the Brevard County School Board. He wasn't a teacher, guys. He was a janitor at Kennedy Middle School. And guess what? When I got to Kennedy Middle School, he went to night school to learn to fix typewriters. So his dad, my dad wasn't the janitor at my middle school, so he could then go work and fix typewriters. My mom and dad never had anyone knock on the door and teach them about money. No one ever told them about how they could make better use of their money. But you know who did knock on the door? The Kirby vacuum cleaner guy selling vacuum cleaners. And this is the reason why I do what I do, because so many people out there, I feel like, are not getting that true analytical advice that they need. The stuff that says, here are the numbers, even if you, and understand something, Kevin, I can't believe it, but there are people that don't like me. I can't believe that people don't like me. Yeah, they're like, you're a little abrasive. That's good, because that's what I know I'm in the right place. But even if you're listening to me right now and going, I don't think I like that guy, great. Then that's the reason why you should come in, so you can get this information, because one of two things is going to happen. Number one, we are going to validate that you were on track and you have knocked it out of the park. Congratulations. Go do you. Or two, we're going to identify some missteps and some stuff that might not be in alignment the way they need to. And in both of those scenarios, you can walk out this door and make the adjustments that you need to make to put yourself in a better position. Nowhere in this did you hear me say, I'm going to sell you an investment, an annuity, a CD, a preferred note, or any other nonsense. I want to give you the tools to make better decisions. I say it time in and time out, and most of you all don't believe me, but I promise you, we don't want everybody that walks through our door as a client either. We want to help you make better decisions, and we're going to point you in the right direction. Go do you. But some of you guys need somebody like me in your life. Some of you guys want to hear this. I love when I sit down with somebody and they go, man, just preach. Tell me the way you really feel, because I want you to not end up like my mother and father, where they get to the end of this journey and they go, man, I wish I'd have done this different, and this different. That's what I do every day. That's why I focus on really helping people better understand their options and working with them on the pros and cons to help them make the decision. If I've got to sell you something, you shouldn't buy it, because we need to have the right relationship. And it's not based on me selling you a shiny object. It's about me giving you the information and building that relationship with you to help you enjoy the journey through retirement, because that's what it's really all about. Every single appointment that we have, it ends. The last sentence on the paper that I give you when you leave, the breakdown of all this technical data, is that we know things are always changing. That's why we believe a relationship with your advisor is the key and most important thing that you can have. That is the last sentence on every report that I hand to people. Why? Because I believe that you've got to be able to be Semper Gumby, always flexible. Life happens, and we want to be here to help you navigate those waters. I get it, guys. You think I'm trying to sell you something. Prove me wrong. Come into this office, sit down, and see how fast we're trying to sell you something. I promise you, it's not the way we operate. You're going to come in, we're going to answer your questions, and if we're the right fit, we'll see how we can work together. But if not, you're going to walk out the door with reports that are absolutely going to help you make better decisions in your retirement, help you make better moves, lateral, forward, back, whatever it is that you need to do. We're going to help you put yourself in a better position. But it all starts with a simple phone call. 321-414-7526. Again, 321-414-PLAN.
The question I have is, how can anybody not like Jim Fox?
Well, ask my kids and my wife sometimes, and then ask my staff. And the problem is God broke my filter early in life.
Okay.
And I just, if you ask me something stupid and it's like, hey, should I buy a Ferrari? And you got $200,000. I'm like, yeah, stupid. I'm not good at that. So unfortunately, I ruffle people's feathers the wrong way. I want you guys to know that I come from a place of love when I do these things. I want to truly be the person that my mother and father never had in their lives when it comes to this finance stuff. I want to be that person. And hopefully you hear the sincerity in my voice, because I live it every day, guys. And I just want you to know that's the reason why we do what we do. It's not from my ego. It's not from my bank account. It's because I love helping people making money. And to be quite honest with you, I love being the underdog. I think it's the best place to be. Yeah. And I love helping people make better financial decisions.
Well, if that sounds like you, if you'd like more details, like to schedule that initial consultation, pick up the phone. That number again to reach Jim and the team at Wadadley Financial Group is 321-414-7526, 321-414-PLAN, or online you can reach Jim anytime at getfst.com. All right, Jim, well, as we do each and every week, we got about a minute left in the show, so I'm going to leave the floor all yours for the final word today, sir.
Thanks so much, Kevin. Well, guys, every week, Kevin and I want to say thank you. We know that you have tons of options when it comes to getting financial information, and we're honored to be one of those resources. So like he said, if there's anything we can do, pick up the phone, give us a call. We're here to answer those questions. But with all that being said, on behalf of myself and Mr. Kevin Mack, we want to thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time on the Financial Straight Talk.
Thanks for listening to Financial Straight Talk with Jim Fox. To learn more, visit getfst.com.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Wadadley Financial Group. Wadadley Financial Group is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth LLC IPW, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Wadadley Financial Group are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This show is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation. Wadadley Financial Group is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any government agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Wadadley Financial Group.